TeddyGrey on stuff. Whooshy gives a proper reaction.
And now for something completely different.
Hey, Outcast gang. So, a lot of you asked me to do Leave Me Alone straight after Search, The Search. Leave Me Alone wasn't on the list until later on down the line. Not sure why, but people were telling me that Leave Me Alone is sort of the follow-on from The Search. So, if I really want to understand both of them, I should watch them one after the other. Also, for those of you who commented under The Search and said that the last few seconds that I didn't see of him giving somebody sort of left the white clothes in the cart that he was sat in. I did go back and watch it after you guys had alerted me, but the screen recording messed up. Also, speaking of which, the screen recording on the last one, When I Grow Up, the audio on it was terrible. The screen recorded file corrupted, so I had to manually go back and edit and put the new recorded video in every single time that I pressed play. So I had to get it just right, and the only way that I could do that was by sort of beat matching. So I genuinely apologise for that. Audio quality is especially with the music, not so much my voice, I don't even care, so I'm sure you don't, but with the music, audio quality is something that I genuinely take a lot of pride in getting right. So I apologise because the last one was subpar. It won't happen again. Thank you very much for sticking with me if you have. If you're watching this on the premiere, hit the live chat button, come and talk to me over there. Without further ado, before I faint, let's go. Hello? Am I gonna need these?
Hey!
Panic stricken, handle business, not a joke, yeah. Manners missing, travel different, no control, yeah.
Oh.
Time to listen, time to zip it, keep it closed.
I knew he was gonna do that, so it ain't no joke. Keep it closed. So it's compound rhyme syllables, so there's rhyming syllables that aren't even the ending rhyme syllable. Panic stricken, time to listen. So you've got the but then in between that you've got oh. Unbelievable. I'm gonna need the shakes.
Hey!
Panic stricken, handle business, not a
Not
joke,
a joke.
yeah. Manners missing, travel different, no control, yeah. Time to listen, time to zip it, keep it closed. My description, highly gifted, take some notes, yeah. Lack of interest, why'd you visit, hit the road, yeah. I'm kinda twisted, so keep your distance, be a ghost. Yeah, see, I'm inventive, but quite the menace. You ain't know, well then I'm offended. Let's jog your memories, here we go, yeah. I went from no.
Get out of my face, Nathan. He kept that going for like, what, 16 bars? Kept that going for the whole time. Unbelievable. Nate, doggy. Let me just, 720. This is unbelievable, man. 1080p. How difficult is it? Alright? I want some quality up in this, yeah. I deliberately try not to swear on NF reactions because I know that a lot of Christians are watching. I understand that you're not children. It's not that you can't hear swear words, but I just don't want to, I kind of don't want to offend you by swearing all the time. It is part of my vernacular, so if you are offended, I can only apologise. I try and tone it down.
Hey!
Panic stricken, handle business, not a joke, yeah. Manners missing, travel different, no control, yeah. Time to listen, time to zip it, keep it closed. My description, highly gifted, take some notes, yeah. Lack of interest, why'd you visit, hit the road, yeah. I'm kinda twisted, so keep your distance, be a ghost. Yeah, see, I'm inventive, but quite the menace. You ain't know, well then I'm offended. Let's jog your memories, here we go, yeah. I went from nobody to kinda famous. Hide my plaques inside a closet, I just can't explain it. My wife, she tells me that she's proud and thinks that I should hang them, but I just leave them on the ground right next to my self-hatred. Yeah, mental health, where's my mental health? Diagnosed with OCD, what does that?
Whoa. Like even the closest person to him, which is his wife, is telling him like, hang your plaques up. Like, and I'm sure she's doing that from a place of love. to say like, look, you've done all this, like you've achieved this. You should be proudly walking around the house looking at all of your achievements. But it's his own self-hatred that disallows him to even stop and look at his achievements and glorify them as, I don't know, as whatever. For him, it's about constant movement and about constant progression. So for him, dwelling on his past achievements, that's not going to cause new achievements. That's just going to leave him dwelling in the past, where his self-hatred is, you know. Part of this feels like, I don't know. Somebody said in the comments that there's a theory going around that he may have potentially written a lot of these newer albums. He may have written them years and years ago, which would mean that he would have been feeling a certain type of way at that point. But I genuinely believe that whilst he wrote them all that time ago, he's peppered in parts of himself as he is currently whilst he was recording them, you know? Because when he wrote them and when he recorded them are two different times. And if it's years ago that he wrote them, he's going to be a completely different person now when he's recording them. So I feel like he's peppered in some statements from how he's currently feeling, as opposed to how he's... Because there's a lot of contradiction. There's a lot of juxtaposition within his writing. And I can't work out whether or not that's just his like conflicted brain of, well, I think this way, or is that just because I should think this way? Or maybe no, maybe I think this. Because we all go through that, you know, conflicting feelings in your brain. And some, like Nate's even spoke on it before, like sometimes you don't know whether or not it's you that's talking and thinking, or it's things that you've been through, or other people who have influenced you as to how to think and how to feel and how to act. So is it really you? You know, I'm sure we've all been through those thoughts. What is it, like imposter syndrome? Maybe, I think so. But yeah, I can't work out whether it's that or it's... Because the only other option is that he's completely lying and he's making it all up, which I don't believe that that's the case. So I think it's probably one of these two things. And I kind of want to believe that he's written them years and years ago, which would mean that his talent was way beyond his years, even way back then. But then now he's kind of peppering in how he feels now, giving the listener or the reader of his lyrics something to really ponder about, like a genuine storyline. You know how in movies they do like oh, this happened back then, and then they fast forward back into present day. Maybe that's what he's giving us within his music, which would make sense because he's very cinematic within his approach to his music videos. Despite how simple it may seem of just a man in front of a camera, and that might, like how simple it may seem, just a man rapping, but it's not just a man rapping. There's, like you guys say, there's Easter eggs in there, but there's also like a whole different story to unravel with layers and different personalities and different timelines. I don't know, I've probably just spoken for about 5 minutes. But my God, it leaves a lot to think about, especially, like I say, with the juxtaposing and often contradictory positions that he takes on his own psyche. Mad. I love this though. Let's go. Do you know what? I kind of want to go all the way back. Our first round.
Hey!
Panic stricken, handle business, not a joke, yeah. Manners missing, travel different, no control, yeah. Time to listen, time to zip it, keep it close. My description, highly gifted, take some notes, yeah. Lack of interest, why'd you visit, hit the road, yeah. I'm kinda twisted, so keep your distance, be a ghost, yeah. See, I'm invented, but quite the menace. You ain't know, well then I'm offended. Let's jog your memories, here we go, yeah. I went from nobody to kinda famous. Hide my plaques inside a closet, I just can't explain it. My wife, she tells me that she's proud and thinks that I should hang them, but I just leave them on the ground right next to my self-hatred. Yeah, mental health, where's my mental health? Diagnosed with OCD, what does that mean? We'll gather around. That means I obsessively obsess on things I think about. That means I might take a normal thought and think.
Oh, so not only is he explaining like what OCD is, but he, like, even in his pre-explanation, it was like gather round. Like when you have OCD, you do have to gather things. It's almost like, it's not hoarding, but OCD like means to have everything in check, right? It's an obsessive compulsive disorder. Like, you obsess over things. It's a compulsion. You can't help it, you know? Damn. Maybe more people have got OCD than are actually diagnosed with it. And maybe it's a misdiagnosis, you know? A hyper-focus on something is not always necessarily a bad thing. To call it a disorder when it's got Nate this far, how can you possibly say that that's disorderly, you know? It's exactly the fact that he's managed to order his brain and hyper-focus on one thing that has created NF. I don't know. You need to start looking at mental health a lot differently, I think. But hopefully future generations get it right.
But I just leave them on the ground right next to my self-hatred. Yeah, mental health. Where's my mental health? Diagnosed with OCD, what does that mean? We'll gather around. That means I obsessively obsess on things I think about. That means I might take a normal thought and think it's so profound. Ruminating, fill balloons are full of doubts. Do the same things. If I don't, I'm overwhelmed. Thoughts are pacing. They go round and round and round.
It's doing the same thing. Thoughts are pacing. So the rhyming word is pacing. But then it's so draining and move on to something else. So there's compound rhyme syllables within every single bar. We've got the, okay, so from the search, the white people that were like walking around the open plain. Now the white people, not literal white people, I mean the people dressed in white, okay? Stop your race baiting bullshit. And now he's got the black balloons. Or is that racist as well? Fucking black balloons. Which people have told me that symbolises his burdens, I believe. Which I was also thinking, right? Because that was his mum on the swing in the search, right? And she was holding 3 balloons, which people said in the comments symbolised the 3 kids that she had. But if the black balloons symbolise burdens, does that mean that Nate believes that his mum saw him and his brothers and sisters as a burden? Because she also had black balloons, which was a burden. But if they're meant to represent the kids, then that means that she saw the kids as a burden. I hope that he doesn't think that, because, you know, she had an addiction. And 9 times out of 10, addictions mean that somebody is suffering outside of that addiction. It's not the addiction that's the problem, it's what they're suffering with mentally that is forcing them to believe that this is the only option. Yeah, but these rhyme schemes are crazy. I love them.
I might take a normal thought and think it's so profound. Ruminating, fill balloons are full of doubts. Do the same things. If I don't, I'm overwhelmed. Thoughts are pacing. They go round and round and round. It's so draining. Let's move on to something else. Fine. Running the game if they don't even know it. Like I'm undercover and know when to blow it. They come out of nowhere, they don't even notice. The flow is so cold you would think it was slowing. I'm under the weather, but wind isn't blowing.
I will see you in a... I'll see you in a bit. Making me get a lot of anger. Oh my god. So it's just gonna go to can't even talk. Just gonna go double time for no reason. Thanks. We are 1 minute into a 5-minute song. This is a genuine test for all of you people out there that were like, oh, you know, I'd watch 40 minutes. I'd watch an hour and a half of you reacting to it. Let's see. Let's see. Remember what you said, all right? Choose your words carefully next time.
Pacing, they go round and round and round. It's so draining. Let's move on to something else. Fine. Running the game if they don't even know it. Like I'm undercover and know when to blow it. They come out of nowhere, they don't even notice. The flow is so cold you would think it was snowing. I'm under the weather, but wind isn't blowing. I got an umbrella for difficult moments. You gotta admit it, I'm very devoted. I'm out in the rain, but it don't always always alright. Hold up my balloons.
And the weather bars as well. I'm under the weather, but wind isn't blowing. Like, he's saying that he's ill, right? But look at the word weather, okay? Weather meaning like weather patterns, the rain, the sun, the sleet, the snow. But also weather, like as in whether or not, as in options, which is exactly what his brain's going through. He's having juxtaposing thoughts and feelings and actions, like he feels one way but does another thing. Or, I need to go for a jog or something. I've never felt like I have to, Apart from when I did my reaction to Chang Bin, Doodle. You remember that, right? I had to go for a jog immediately after. And this might be another instance. I'm under the weather, but wind isn't blowing. Like, he's saying he's ill. Like, under the weather is another term for saying that you're ill, you're poorly, you're sick. I'm under the weather, but wind isn't blowing. Weather, wind, but also weather, like whether or not. So he's in two minds about something. He's choosing whether or not to go down one path or the other. He's choosing whether or not he wants people to leave him alone, or whether he wants, the fans and the adoration. He's choosing whether or not he wants to dwell on his past successes, or whether he wants to continue creating success. But creating success would mean to draw more eyes and more attention onto it, which is the opposite of him saying, leave me alone. So he's in two minds. Does he want to do this, or does he want to do that? We're coming at a crossroads in Nate's life, This is almost like one man's midlife crisis. Obviously, it's not a midlife crisis, but they say that people go through those sorts of crises where they believe that, perhaps my life isn't what I'm supposed to be doing, and maybe I'm doing the wrong things in my life. Maybe I need to be alone. Maybe I need to be free, blah, 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 blah. Late 20s, early 30s, it's a prime time for that sort of thought, Oh, I'm going back for that scheme.
Diagnosed with OCD, what does that mean? We'll gather round. That means I obsessively obsess on things I think about. That means I might take a normal thought and think it's so profound. Ruminating, fill balloons are full of doubts. Do the same things. If I don't, I'm overwhelmed. Thoughts are pacing. They go round and round and round. It's so draining. Let's move on to something else. Fine. Running the game if they don't even know it. Like I'm undercover and knowing to blow it. I come out and know it, they don't even notice. The flow is so cold you would think it was snowing. I'm under the weather, but wind isn't blowing. I got an umbrella for difficult moments. You gotta admit it, I'm very devoted. I'm out in the rain, but they don't know he's always alright. Hold up my balloons and cover up my face. I can feel them weighing on me every day. I should let them go and watch them float away. But I'm scared if I do, then I'll be more afraid. Tell them how I feel, but
when he says I should let them go and let them float away, that reminds me of something that I read from somebody in the comments. They said that there was a girl who tried to get some black balloons into the show, and security wouldn't let her bring them in, so she had to let them go, and all the fans were raging. That's what that reminds me of.
I should let them go and watch them float away. But I'm scared if I do, then I'll be more afraid.
Ooh.
Tell them how I feel, but they don't want to change. Tell them how I feel, but they remain the same. Loosen up my grip, they say that's not okay. Quiet, 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 quiet. Hey, leave me alone. Hey, yeah. Quiet, 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 quiet. Yeah, leave me alone. Yeah. Quiet, 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 quiet. Yeah, leave me alone. I hate when they debate if we're underrated. We're so overlooked that they're looking over our numbers, Nathan. We don't do enough interviews or go out in public lately. We don't post enough on our socials to keep the buzz from fading. Let it fade, yeah, let it fade. Once it's decimated, then you drop a song out of nowhere and all the fans embrace it. Then the buzz will surface again as part of my operation. I don't need advice from my doubts right now and
Basically just gave you the formula. Do you know how many artists didn't understand that was the case? Especially in the media, in the world of social media as well. Less is more. People don't need to see your face like that. You have a job to do, that's fine, but you don't need to be in the socials like that. That's how it is. That's how you gain growth. I've tried telling people this, they do not understand. They seem to think that the more you're on social media, the more people will care. That's not the case. People care when they feel like they're missing out. FOMO, it's real. And if you can capitalize on that emotion, the people will flock. This is crazy. I'd love to know what the actual symbolization of the people in the white and them sort of queuing up for something. Nate almost looking like he was going to queue up, but then, nah, I'm not doing what these guys are doing. And now they're all pointing at him. And I don't know whether that's because they agree with what he's saying about his stance in the game, or whether they disagree with it and they want him to do something else. When he's saying quiet, 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 he's talking about the voices in his head. So do these people in white represent those voices in his head? I don't know. I don't know. Somebody said that the white was representative of hope, and I don't know whether that's just because it's synonymous with that anyway. But that might not be what Nate means, you know. I suppose he does, because then in his recent music video, Hope, he was wearing white. On second thoughts, maybe you guys are right. Yeah. Maybe, yeah. But if they're Hope, then why is he not... He's not conversing with them, he's not... Is that because he's got no hope, or because the hope is obviously there? It's there for him to talk to. There's people in white everywhere. And there's more people in white here than there were in the search. So is he more hopeful now? But even if he is hopeful, why is he not talking to them? Why is he not conversing? Why is he just trying to do his own thing dressed in black? Or is that because he feels like he has to? There's so many questions. I feel like I need to have a sit-down conversation with Nathan. What's his last name? Firestein? If his last name has the word fire in it, obviously I know it's not spelt like that, but if that's how you pronounce it, like fire, that is literally fire.
Yeah, quiet, 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 quiet. Yeah, leave me alone. Yeah, quiet, 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 quiet. Yeah, leave me alone. I hate when they debate if we're underrated. We're so overlooked that they're looking over our numbers, Nathan. We don't do enough interviews or go out in public lately. We don't post enough on our socials to keep the buzz from fading. Let it fade, yeah, let it fade. Once it's decimated, then you drop a song out of nowhere and all the fans embrace it. Then the buzz will surface again, it's part of my operation. I don't need advice from my doubts right now, end of conversation. Shut your mouth, yeah, shut your mouth. Better tone it down, close it now. If you make a sound, I'ma change it down. Funny how they be acting loud, coming unannounced, floating round. Man, the kid is wild, pretty wild, true. I'm kinda funny, but don't really show it. I keep it together, but have a disorder. I go to my room and I sit in my corner and talk to myself in a language that's foreign. I think of a rhyme and I have to record it.
That's so crazy. Like, I talk to myself in a language that's foreign, but he also mentioned the whole disorder thing that I said. I'm kind of funny, but
don't really show it.
I keep it together, but have a disorder. Like, when things are disorderly, they're not together. I keep it together, but have a disorder. That's so sick. Ugh. And obviously he's back on the double time again. See, is hope now carrying him to where he wants to be? Is that the symbolism of this? Is hope now carrying him to where he needs to be? And is this a choice that he's making, or is this something that's being thrusted upon him, or expected of him, perhaps? I don't know.
Funny how they be acting loud, coming unannounced, floating round. Man, the kid is wild, pretty wild, true. I'm kinda funny, but don't really show it. I keep it together, but have a disorder. I go to my room and I sit in my corner and talk to myself in a language that's foreign. I think of a rhyme and I have to record it, but no, if I don't, I wake up in the morning and question my life again, always avoiding. I hate to be different, but hate to be normal, so I hold up my balloons and cover up my face. I can feel them weighing on me every day. I should let them go and watch them float away, but I'm scared if I do, then I'll be more afraid. Tell them how I feel, but they don't wanna change. Tell them how I feel, but they remain the same. Loosen up my grip, they say that's not okay. Quiet, 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 quiet. Hey, leave me alone. Hey, yeah. Quiet, 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 quiet. Yeah, leave me alone. Yeah. Quiet, 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 quiet. Yeah, leave me alone. Remember back in No Name, I said fame.
Oh yeah, Fame called, and I told him I'm not ready yet. That was what he said. Remember back in No Name, I said Fame called? As if that's so like conversational as well. Hey guys, you remember No Name when I said Fame called? And I said, fuck off. You remember that? I do remember that, Nate. Of course I remember. I'm listening. Oh my God, that's the old man. Is that the old man? Is that the old man from, oh my God, what was it? Was it Let You Down? I think it was Let You Down. So, in this, there's people dressed in black that are going with white clothes, and then people are coming out whitened, or people are going in, let's use the metaphor, people are going in sad, coming out happy, in its basic form, right? Going in sad, coming out happy. So why is he not going in there? If he understands that all he has to do is go in there and then come out happy, why is he not doing it? Like he's already said, I hate being normal, but I don't like being different. But then sometimes I do like being different because I hate normal. It's conflicting emotions, juxtaposing positions that he has in his brain. I understand him to a T. Also, whilst I'm on the subject, I think it was in Search when he said the fans or the people think they know me, but they don't know me well. I was thinking about that, and maybe he meant well, as in like, you know, when somebody's unwell, like the opposite of that, like they're fine. They think they know me, but they don't know me well. Because all of the fans, they know him as being like this depressed, sort of always an underdog guy. But if he's not that guy anymore, like my theory would suggest, like he's peppering in his current feelings because these things were written years and years ago, my theory would be correct because he's saying they don't know me well. Like they don't know me when I'm fine, so they don't know me because I'm not that person anymore. I've battled with these things, I've fought with, I've wrestled with my own mind state, and I'm a little bit better now. I'm not who these people seem to think that I am. They don't know me well. Like they don't know me when I'm well. They don't know me when I'm okay. So they don't know me. Obviously, you know, I'm not egotistical enough to believe that my theory can be the only correct one. However, it does make sense with literally everything that I've been hearing. It feels like he wrote all of these things years ago, but then he's peppering in his current feelings and thought processes in there as well, which is why it seems like such a huge contrast between his thoughts, because they are literally thoughts from when he was however old to now. Mad. This is about to be the longest NF reaction I've ever done, so.
Hey, yeah, quiet, yeah, leave me alone. Yeah, quiet, yeah, leave me alone. Remember back in No Name, I said fame called. Told you I hung up, it kinda felt wrong. Finally called him back, we didn't talk long. He asked me how I'd been, I sent him this song. Yeah, think he took offense, he kinda seemed off. I texted him that night to ask what he thought. It took a couple days to get a response, but once I finally did, he said the song sucks. Feel the symptoms, couldn't miss him, wrestle with them, then I pin and flip him. Brought some back up, Noah, you should get some, who you dissing? Mood is switching, don't come in the kitchen, you should listen. Cooking record for my hands are blistering. So persistent, don't forget this, hold attention, soul is bending, no pretending, open-ended, low percentage, so demented. Whole consensus, flow tremendous, no apprentice, no incentive, show intensive, so possessive, tone aggressive, watch your step when I hold up my balloons and cover up my face, I can feel.
Stop it. I'm going all the way back. All the way back. Jesus Christ, this might be some of his best writing so far. This, I believe this is my favourite song now from NF. Just off first listen, just off the subject matter especially, because there's so much to think about. And I feel like the proof's in the pudding because of how long this reaction is going to end up being. But this might be my favourite song from NF so far. Like the internal wrestling with thoughts is so interesting, and it's so real. Oh my God. No pun intended. I didn't even mean that. But it is so real. Because I know that I've had similar thoughts. So I know that there's other people out there that feel the same way. Okay.
Should listen, cooking record for my hands are blistering. So persistent, don't forget this, hold attention, soul is bending, no pretending, open-ended, low percentage, so demented, whole consensus, no tremendous, no apprentice, no incentive, show intensive, so possessive, tone aggressive, watch your step when I hold up my balloons and cover up my face, I can feel them weighing on me every day. I should let them go and watch them float away, but I'm scared if I do then I'll be more afraid. Leave me alone, leave me alone, yeah, leave me alone. Leave me alone, yeah, leave me alone, leave me alone, yeah, leave me alone, leave me alone, leave me alone, leave me alone, yeah, quiet, yeah, leave me alone, yeah, quiet, yeah, leave me alone,
It's just so confusing. Those people were all dressed in white, but now they have balloons too. And that to me kind of says like you can have all the hope that you want. You're still going to have burdens and things that try and drag you down. Maybe that's what they're saying in the visuals with this.
Leave me alone.
This song.
Yeah. Quiet, 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 quiet.
So he just gave his burdens to what then? He gave his burdens to what? Like, what did he give his burdens to? Did he give it to somebody that can sort it? Somebody that's going to float them away for him? Take them away for him? Pop them? What? By far my favourite NF track so far, but by a country mile. Actually, I'm probably over-exaggerating, but just in terms of how I feel and how much my brain feels like it's worked during that one song. I really, 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 really fucking enjoyed this. This was so good. The rhyme schemes that he was on, those compound syllables and then the ending syllable, and he repeated that so many times. He did that in every single verse. For those of you that don't write lyrics, for those of you that don't compose music, you will not understand how difficult that is to do, even just once on a beat, let alone 3 consecutive times throughout different verses. An insane amount of talent and to arouse my quest for knowledge and for answers, to do that in every single reaction, but then to not only continuously do it, but then as I'm on this journey, it's like I've been at a steady pace where it's like, okay, I kind of get things, I get where things are going now, and then it's just woo, 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 woo. Well, I don't know, it's gone in like 10 different ways now. If I were to have like, you know, one of those boards on those COP programs where they have like the red lines that go to the actual assailant that they need to go and get, there'd be a picture of Nate and then a million different red lines. It could be anything, I have no idea, I'm so confused. Hopefully by the time that I get to the end of this journey, I'll have some sort of idea as to what's going on. But for those of you that are wondering, I am going to be going back and doing the full album reviews. I might not do a full album review on YouTube, but I'll do each individual track and then maybe like a half an hour just where I'm sort of talking about everything that I've learned about this album and the theories that I might have on it. Because I'll be honest with you, I'm not going on to like forums and looking at other people's theories. So at this point, I could just be coming up with a theory that many other people have thought about. But I often get comments underneath the reaction saying, "Oh, you explained a bar that I've not seen another reaction video explained before, or you've explained it differently to any other reactor." So hopefully there's something that people can take away from my reactions that they can't get elsewhere. But then once we all have that collective information, spread it out elsewhere, and maybe we can get to the bottom of it collectively, you know. Otherwise, one of us reactors is gonna have to interview Nate. And I'll be honest with you, as much as I don't like Knox Hill's music, his reactions, from what I've seen, they're very good, alright? They're very good, alright? I'm not a huge fan of his music, but in terms of reactions, very good. So somebody like Knox Hill, or, you know, who else? Crypt is another good one. There's a guy, Third Ernest, I believe his name is. Hopefully one of those guys gets to interview him and they ask like the real questions, the genuine, like the ones that fans want to know. What did he mean by this? What is he saying in this? Unreal. I believe that this reaction may be over half an hour long, which would signify the longest NF reaction on my channel so far. Hopefully not the longest one yet though, you know, we've got a long way to go. So hopefully this isn't the most amazed that I'm going to be throughout this journey. But if it is, I'm happy with this. I'm happy with this being the pinnacle. It's been your bearded person, TeddyGrey. Love you all.